Starting. All right, that's it. It's live.
We're live now?
Yep.
All right, sweet.
All right. So kind of like what we talked about. I don't know. I think it'd be cool if we can get, if you want to be in on it, Jeff, I think you can have we could get a good group of guys in here. I don't know if it's 12 or if it's more than 12, 10 or 12 that you can all add. But yeah, I don't know. I think if we can get a group in here and talk a little moto, I think it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, well, we get a couple of regulars, like you say, or 2 or 3 or 4 regulars, and then have, kind of randoms on now and then. That'd be kind of cool too.
Yeah. So, I guess we'll just jump right into it. Obviously you watched the whole race, right? All the heat races and everything.
Oh yeah.
Shoot, I don't know if you do this. I think it's great. I do it like kind of on in the background. I was working on some shirts on Saturday, but they got that supercrossonline.com. They stream all the practice. You ever watch any of that stuff?
Oh, I watch it once in a while, but since I don't have internet anymore, I haven't really been watching it.
Right.
Like, I didn't watch it at all this week.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I don't think they show all of it. I think they wait till like the first free practice is done, and then after that I think they show it, but I think it's almost 3 hours of coverage. So it's pretty cool. So I watched that, and then I tried doing a brief video after practice, and then before the main start. I think I got 1 view on it. Damn it. But anyway, so did you see Weimer and Tomac's crash in the heat race?
Yeah, I did.
What did you think?
To me, a racing incident. I don't think there was any blame anywhere. It's hard to say in something like that, but what are you supposed to do? Look behind you all the time?
Right. I think Tomac kind of, he doubled, and then when he hit that last one into the corner, he come across. Now I'm guessing he'd assumed that everyone would have followed suit behind him, but at that point, what's Weimer gonna do? He already committed to jumping in there. So
yeah, I think it's one of those areas though that it's a thin line for sure. But I mean, you and I have both been there. If I'm the guy in front, I'd have done exactly what Tomac did, And if I was Weimer, I'd have done the same thing, and we would have ended up wadded up in the corner just like they did.
Yeah.
That's racing, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh shoot! So
you can't look at something like that and say, "Oh, Tomac was trying to block him," because if you're trying to block a guy in that situation, you know that if you do that, you're both going down, and you're both probably going to get hurt. So to put the blame on one guy or the other, you can't do that. That was a racing incident all the way, in my eyes.
Yeah, I don't think he was trying to block him. I just think he doubled in, and then he tried to, cut to the inside or whatever. But yeah, yikes.
I guess you can say in professional Supercross, maybe that happened. Maybe they should be a little more alert to what's going on than that. But, who's to say? To me, there's no fault there, and that's racing.
I didn't see, now that I think about it, I guess I didn't see why he didn't jump into the corner. Because was that more in the middle, or I thought it was more towards the front of the pack. I guess I'd have to rewatch it.
I think it was more towards the front of the pack. I haven't gotten that far in it right now. I'm watching the rebroadcast right now, but it hasn't gotten that far. But it wasn't, it was middle front. It wasn't any farther back than the middle. I know that. They were kind of alone, that's for sure.
I'll have to see. I think I recorded it. Come on. List. Ooh. Ugh, I guess that one chick's from Minnesota, huh?
Jenny?
Yeah. Did you know?
Yeah, she was I don't know if you watched a lot of Minnesota Wild games or Timberwolves games or even Twins games, but she was one of the Fox Sports North girls.
Hmm. Yeah, I
And
guess.
she went to FS1, I guess. She was doing reporting for their Sports Center or FS Live or whatever they called it, and she ended up doing Supercross. I don't know how, but
Hmm. All right, now that I got it back on, what I think it's pretty cool. I like that they brought the heats, the semis, and the LCQs. I think that's pretty sweet.
oh, I'm with you there. I honestly I completely forgot that they were doing that this year with the 450s until race time when they brought it up, and yeah, it makes for so much better racing, more racing. It'll be interesting to see, I guess, when we eventually get to races that aren't live, how they're going to cover all that because they're not going to cover that in an hour, I don't think. But I mean, I'm definitely a big fan of it.
Well, okay. So I thought I heard that they were showing 13 races live. Then I thought, you know who Matt is it Wycheck? I think so. You say his
Yeah.
last name. I thought
Yep.
he posted today that they're showing all the races live.
They said I could have sworn they said during the broadcast that it was 17 races that would be live this year. But
That's pretty awesome.
yeah, it is for sure.
Um, yeah, because when I was watching the practice and everything, I think his name is Nicholas Schmidt. I think that's it. It's like 415. He runs the 450 class, and I remember that guy from when I came up for the Minneapolis last year.
Hmm.
So someone cleaned him out, and and like obviously they can't see him, right? But he was ready to fight him, so it was pretty funny. He's like throwing his hands up, like, "Come on!" And I'm like, "Oh man!" But he's the guy. I think people like that'll benefit from having the heats and semis because it's like they're the dudes that last year they'd finish not or 10th, or
Hmm.
third in the heat race or LCQ. So I think stuff like that it'll benefit them. So
Well, I mean, I agree with you. I think the more, for one thing, you get two more races out of it, and it kind of splits everybody up that much more. Now, if you're in a really deep heat race, and you got all these guys that are probably going to kick your ass, it's not do or die. And if you
right.
don't make it in from the heat race, you're not going to be, it's not only two going on to the main from the last chance qualifier. So, in my opinion, it makes for better racing, and obviously more racing is better. So,
Yeah, yep. And then yeah, I just like that too. Yeah, you get to see more. And at first I wasn't too excited that they were taking laps away because what the heat race is what normally were 8 laps, now they're 6 laps. So I
mhm.
like that there's less laps and they take less guys. So yeah, I mean it's nice too. Like like RV, if he gets a shitty start, well now he might not make top five. Maybe he'll go to that LCQ. And
Yeah.
I guess the other point or other part would be so say yeah you get a guy that he might not be the fastest, but he gets a hell of a start. Now he can maybe hang on for 6 laps, whereas that 7th or 8th lap, those top guys would have reeled him in.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't tune you down.
Yeah. Oh, no.
But, all right, so what else? What happened?
No.
Am I losing you?
No. Well, I'm not losing you anyway.
I still hear you. All right, what else? What else happened? Alessi, what'd you think of Alessi? I thought that was kind of cool, even though he was kind of getting some shit for crying. But I don't know.
Well,
I
think it's.
I'd like to see him do good.
I mean, I would too.
Let me hear it.
I'm just really tired of him. I mean, they're talking about, it's his 10th year racing Supercross. You know what? It's time to grow up. You shouldn't be crying after a 6-lap heat race in your 10th year of Supercross. That's just my opinion. And this whole, nobody ever gives us a chance crap needs to go away too, because it's not that nobody's ever given him a chance. It's that they all act like complete douchebags and everybody's tired of them.
Right.
That's what it's all about. So him crying about not having any fans and nobody believes in us and Michael Byrne's going to come in and save the world. Well, I think we disproved that in the main.
I thought that was kind of crazy that's how. Did you hear him talking about it? Like he'll count to 5 or 6 or whatever and then go.
And then just go. Yep, no matter what.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, either you're going to be missing a lot of gates or you're going to be hitting a lot of gates. And that's probably the first time I've ever seen a guy hit a gate like that at that level.
He full on. I mean, he was 2 seconds early, too. I mean, but I kind of don't. I mean, they were talking about that. I don't really believe that because he's consistently a good starter, and there's no way that you would be that consistent off the gate if that was your strategy. So
right.
I think that's kind of a lot of BS right there.
Yeah, to me, I think, yeah. Plus, he's, well, I don't know. I think he's bigger than he used to be, but, like, he's pretty little. He's still one of the little guys out there.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's definitely bulked up. I mean, over the last 5 years, he's not the scrawny little kid that he used to be, even though he acts like it.
Right. Oh, fuck. The other guy was kind of bummed that didn't make it in. I think if I could meet any pro, it would have to be Nick Way.
Oh, definitely.
I think he'd be a blast to hang out with. So I think he got tangled up in Tomac and Weimer's deal. And then in the semi, he was looking for chicks in the one corner.
Yeah.
And and then I don't even know what happened in the LCQ, but so.
Yeah, I never really had an eye on him, I guess. I have no idea where he was.
Yeah. He's kind of bummed. I think he's on a Supercross only deal. I don't think he's doing outdoors this year.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we don't need to watch Alessi cry again. I will
just watched it again.
That's where I'm at now. I just got done. Let's see. All right, we got to fast. Have you paid any attention to what Joe Gibbs is doing?
So when it comes to off the track stuff, I don't pay a whole lot of attention.
So they got Brayton and Grant, right?
Yeah.
And it's I'm gonna get the wrong guy. I don't think it's Chisholm. He rides out at Nicoletti. I think it's Phil Nicoletti. He's like a replacement rider, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So like he's guaranteed 3 Supercross and 3 outdoors. But and that's it. But like if Grant or Brayton gets hurt, then he's the fill-in guy.
He's the guy.
Then he races. I would assume he'd race the rest of the year then. But like for right now, he's only got like 3. I think it's 3 Supercross and 3 outdoors, and then that's it. But all right, I think must have been heat 2. What'd you think of Stewie's crash?
Kind of saw it coming, I guess. I thought it was interesting, paying attention to Twitter and Facebook and all that during the heat race, and everybody talking about, oh, he's coming back. This is going to be his year and everything. And what kept going through my head was wait till the main, because he can always throw together heat races. I don't know what it is about the guy. I don't know if it's terrible luck or if it's something in his head or what.
Right.
The guy's good in heat races. When it comes to the main, it's a completely different story.
Yeah, God, I don't know.
To me, he's always that guy that you watch waiting to explode. It doesn't always happen, but 90% of the time it does.
All right. I'm trying to see. I'm watching that crash right now with Tomac. I want to know if I can pause it. Can I fast forward? Slow-mo? I wonder if he overjumps something. Oh, he's on a different... Yeah, because he's in second.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So, I don't know. That's kind of weird.
They were on kind of a different rhythm from each other, weren't they?
That's what it kind of looked like at first, but I don't know what the hell just happened to my TV.
Just throw it out the window.
It went from playing it. Oh wow! It just completely skipped the whole heat race.
Oh, nice.
All right, let's get back to it. Jesus, Pete. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. After Stewart crashed, I was like, great. Villapoto's gonna come out like smelling like a fucking rose here, and he's gonna end up winning this thing somehow. But
yeah,
it's like, man, he's gonna crash. Dungey'll crash. Reed'll crash. Fuck.
I never figured Dungey for a crash. I figured him to ride around in 4th or 5th, like he always does, and settle with that. And I actually picked Reed for 5th, so I was actually disappointed when Stewart crashed and Villapoto crashed, because I had them higher up than that. And but I mean, like I said, I was just kind of waiting for Stewart to blow up like he always does. And Villapoto, after he went down the first time in the night, kind of waiting for that same thing. Once he falls down, he rides so much over his head trying to get back to the front that 9 times out of 10 he'll go down a second time or even a third time.
Villapoto?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just come around the first corner and I see number 1. I'm like, fucking A. Oh, yeah. We're racing for second.
I'm with you there. Get up and go grab a beer.
So I guess I am a little surprised that he didn't catch up as fast. But
yeah, it seemed like maybe something was wrong with the bike or something was wrong with him, because I expected him to start reeling him in right away too, and he wasn't. I mean, he definitely wasn't himself. I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to lap times, so I don't know if he dropped off a bunch or if he was really that slow to begin with. But I agree with you. I expected him to come right back, and he never did.
Yeah, I think you're right to go back on Tomac's crash. I think they were on 2 different rhythms. I think Tomac tripled somewhere else. But I did read on Racer X today that Weimer said he wasn't too. Now this is what he's telling Racer X, but that he wasn't mad about the crash. But I guess
Yeah.
Tomac threw every cuss word at him while they were laying there, and
Well,
that's what pissed him off.
I'm sure, it's that's another one of those things where we've both been there, and if you're the guy in front, you're thinking, oh, some guy just cleaned me out on purpose, and so of course you're gonna think, or you're gonna be swearing at him or whatever, and I could definitely see that you're not mad about the crash, but as soon as they open their mouth, all hell's about to break loose.
We gotta get Jeff on here. He cleaned me out at Elko one year, and oh my god, it's like I didn't even see him. Like I come around the corner and I'm like, all right. All of a sudden this white I think it was his white helmet or something, and he just
Oh,
I'm
if
probably
it was Jeff, it was a plain white helmet.
yep, and it's just like I don't know what happened if we hit handlebars or he just hit my front wheel, and oh man, that was probably the gnarliest first turn crash. It's just chest protectors all ripped off. I had tire marks up my back. I'm like, dude, this is plus 25. But shit.
And of course, the worst part about Jeff is the guy can have the worst crash in the world, absolutely destroy a bike, and he'll walk away from it unscathed. Seen him do it 100 times. He's wrecked a couple of my bikes doing it.
Oh man. Yeah, that was funny because do you know Justin Vanden? Is it Vandenboom? Boomer? So
no, I don't think so.
you guys probably God, I don't think any of those guys race anymore. But like my wife, she had the video camera, or not the video, but my camera. So she obviously sees us take off, and that was, that's been a couple years at Elko, so you kind of disappear from the sight from everybody. So she's standing there waiting for me to come around, and I'm not coming. And then Boom's like, "Hey, did you see Scotty's crash? Oh yeah, he was cartwheeling." And she's like, "What do you mean?" And then I come putzing around. But but yeah, I was reading some other stuff on Racer X today, and people were like about Stewart's crash, like, "Oh, why didn't you continue?" And blah blah blah. And did you see his handlebars?
Yeah, I did.
It's like you fuckers won't even go on a Supercross track with a straight bike, and you want this guy to go out there with that stuff? I'm like, yeah, that thing's. I would assume to their standards that thing was junk.
Oh, I'm sure. And I think the handlebars are probably just the tip of the iceberg there.
Yeah, but that's too bad. And I'd like to see his brother do good. He had a good start, and then he wadded it up in the sand, which I guess really wasn't his fault, but would have been nice.
No, it was kind of a goofy setup with that sand section where it was, because you had all the all the sand was getting blown into the corner before it and making it slippery. So
yeah,
it's kind of surprised that more of that didn't happen. But yeah, I mean, Malcolm took a heat race win and looked good in that. I mean, to me, he looks like something out of Mario Kart or whatever, because he looks so big on the bike.
Looks like fucking Predator with the dreadlocks.
I'll give you that. I think he always looks like Donkey Kong on the Mario Kart to me. And I don't mean that as in racist.
You're all right. Okay, let's see if they're coming to it now. Like, the only part of the track that I thought was really weird was when they hit the triple, they're going to 180 around, and then it's like 3 whoops where they jump up onto like a tabletop. Yeah. And then they had to it was almost like they were just
the 3
Yeah, but it's like they're just launching, like, you know, they're not going over it. So it's just like you got to lip the bike and then pretty much just plow the front end into that face. I don't know. It didn't look, to me, it didn't look like any fun at all, you know?
No, the whole track to me looked so busy, and I'm kind of the point where I'm tired of these tracks that you really spend more time in the air than you do on the ground. I mean, these are supposed to be race tracks.
So you'd like to see a little less obstacle? Uh-oh. No! Oh gosh, we lost Jason. All right. Hang on. All right. We lost Jason. We got to get him back in here. Hopefully. Yeah. Welcome back.
I'm back. I don't know what the hell happened there. As usual, I'm going off on a rant, and then all of a sudden I got nothing.
At least we got you back pretty quick.
I kind of figured out what was wrong right away.
But all right, so you'd like to see maybe less obstacle, or?
Well, I don't think it necessarily has to be less obstacles, but I mean, it's basically Supercross nowadays is rhythm section, rhythm section, rhythm section, whoops, rhythm section, whoops, and a finish line jump.
Right.
To me, I'd rather see guys side by side, or 3 or 4 bikes in a pack, because they feel comfortable enough to be able to race that way rather than this single file rhythm section after rhythm section after rhythm section. That's just me talking though.
Right. No. It's kind of weird. Like, I don't know if this is out of left field, but like, I think when like McGrath was winning, I think it was more like how technical he was, where everyone else really maybe wasn't. So it's like he could hammer, do a half, whatever, let's say 10 laps or 8 laps, get that lead and then kind of cruise. But then it's kind of like, who was next? Carmichael, now he brings in the speed. So it's like now these guys got to be, I don't know, you got to be fast, technical, and yeah, I don't know.
Well, I think it's one thing that we all, or at least I take from most Supercross fans or motocross fans in general, is that we want to see more racing. Well, if the top 5 guys are the only guys that can put together any kind of speed on the tracks that we have, maybe that's the problem. So maybe we tame down the tracks. So not necessarily tame them down. I mean, you can still have these wicked rhythm sections, but
Right.
have some wide open sections too, and throw them all together. Let's see what kind of racing we actually get out of it.
No, I hear you. That makes sense. What else we got? So we got Stewie yard sailing it. Got Tomac yard sailing it. When I was on Racer X, there was some foreign guy like, what was it? What was your biggest surprise? I wonder if I can't bring it up. Let's see here, Racer X. Let's see here. I want to make sure I don't lose you. All right. So, all right. So, the Supercross or Racer X online poll. What's the biggest surprise at Anaheim? Roxon winning, Reed on the podium, and Anderson Seeley checking out from the rest of the 250 class, Alessi's heat race win, Nick was at Summit 14th and 450 main, and up a night down for Villapoto or other. So it was like, well, to me, out of all those choices, I'd have to say Roxon winning was to me the biggest surprise.
Really?
Hmm.
I guess I wasn't really surprised by that. I think that he had had enough experience with the 450 and talked enough about how much he actually liked the 450 that I expected him to do
To do good.
pretty well with it. Probably didn't expect him to win, but I expected him to be on the podium. I would say my biggest surprise would be Chad Reed on the podium. You know, like I said, I figured him for fifth at best. Um, I was pretty surprised to see how good he looked on the Cowie, and I actually hate how good he looked on the Cowie because I liked him better on a Honda.
I, which would bring up a good point too. Like if let's say Stewart doesn't crash, okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's say Villapoto doesn't crash. So now you got RV winning. You got, let's say Stewart gets second, Reed get or Roxon gets third.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you got Reed in fifth, and you know no one would really talk about it.
Yeah, that's true.
But
But do we, without going back and looking at lap times and, you start questioning, oh, this went this way, this went that way. If this guy didn't go down, what happens?
right,
You can't do that, but was Villapoto riding well enough to win? You know, we never actually saw Villapoto and Roxon go head to head.
right.
So maybe Roxon actually has something for him, and God, I hope that he does. Because I'm tired of Villapoto.
Yeah, I don't too, and then I don't know if you. I don't know. I always listen to like the Pulp MX podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what DMX has one on Wednesdays, so Racer X, and they were sometimes they talk about like the Joker lane, like having the Joker lane maybe be part of like the Supercross,
Yeah,
which I think is a bad idea.
I think it's a horrible idea.
And then like some of the other things they're doing is maybe, all right, maybe heat race wins count as points or stuff like that. So like that when it comes to the end of the year, um, the championship isn't locked up, 2 or 3 races from the end.
Yeah.
But it's like all those are good ideas, but like if you take how he did last year, it's like, well, fuck, he probably would have sewn the championship up, 5 races earlier.
I don't agree with giving points for heat races. I don't. Heat races should be nothing other than to qualify for the next race, gate picks, what have you. Shouldn't have anything to do with points. If they want to do something like that, let's start saying, maybe you get 5 points for leading a lap in a main. That would be, first of all, be a little bit easier to figure out, but it doesn't take away the fact that the heat race isn't, it doesn't get you any points. So you're racing for the next race. To me, that would be a better way to go about it. I mean, I hate to bring up NASCAR as an example, but they've done that for years, and it tends to keep their points race a little tighter.
Right. What? Well, this could benefit too, or this could be, like I said, out of left field too. But what about? Because obviously, with timing and scoring, they know where you're at after the first lap. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if they did something like you get passing points? Like if you pass the most riders during a main event, you get 1 point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're turning it into a shit show, is what you're doing.
Right.
Not that, I don't know. To me, you start doing stuff like that, and same with adding a Joker lane every week, or whatever. What's next? Are we going to start having guys, starting the gate backwards because they jumped the gate, or I mean, where does it end when you start throwing in, little stuff like that, I
No.
guess. If you ask me, you throw in the 5 points if you've led a lap. If you want to see some changes in the track or, a Joker lane-esque type deal, throw in more split lanes, like we saw at Minneapolis last year. That track at Minneapolis last year was probably the best track all year simply because it had that split lane. And that split lane was good, for the first 20 laps of all the racing that was going on after the track was prepped. Then it went away. Left side would be good. You'd race 20 laps. All of a sudden now the right side was faster. And then they'd groom the track and it would go back again. To me, that was awesome to see. And maybe it's just because it was where I was sitting, in the dome. I was sitting right there and I watched that lane develop all night long. That was so awesome to see, how the track changes like that. And why not work that into your regular racetracks? As far as a Joker lane every week goes, I think that's a huge mistake. I think we're turning Supercross into a circus, basically, if we start doing that.
Nah, and I think you're right, too, and, like, I think you're right. I think they should just maybe leave it, and then I know it's going to be close, like Arena Cross, what they reset the points with a few rounds left, kind of like NASCAR does, like the race for the chase. But I don't know.
And I could even see, doing something like that. To me, I mean, do you watch Supercross for the points race? Because I don't. Honestly, I could care less who wins a championship and who doesn't. I watch it because it's entertainment, and actually the only reason I really watch it is because it's 15 below outside and I can't ride my dirt bike. But I guess to me, whatever they got to do,
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna watch it regardless of what they do.
Exactly.
Right. Sweet. All right. What else we got?
One question I have for you.
Uh-oh.
What do you think about this whole KTM deal now? To me, I think this puts a huge amount of pressure on Ryan Dungey because for, I think, the last few years, he hasn't come out and said it, is kind of pointing the finger at the bike as to why he's not performing where he's supposed to be. And now we have proof. It's not the bike. If Ken Roczen can beat you on that same bike, then it's you, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know. I could be. For me, at my riding ability, I guess you can put me on any bike, and I would say you're gonna figure it out. You know what I mean? So like, maybe when you get to that level, stuff is that big of a difference that you can't figure it out. But like, to me, I think you could put Reed on a KTM, or you could put, are you telling me you put Villapoto on a Yamaha and he's not going to win? I doubt it.
Well, but it's hard to say. You look at Chad Reed in the past with Yamaha and with, I guess I don't remember if he was ever on a Suzuki or not, but I know with Yamaha, he did not like the bike, and that was why when he went on his own, he did not go with Yamaha.
Right.
There's definitely, I can definitely see that because I can go riding with my buddies. I go riding with Jeff all the time. We swap bikes. I absolutely hate his bike. And the last time I rode it, I said, no more. I'm not riding this. And it's not even, it doesn't even have to go brand to brand. I was at Meadow Valley earlier this summer, right after I bought my 2012 CRF 250, and I jumped on another guy's 2012 CRF 250, and I hated that bike. I wouldn't even ride a lap on it because it wasn't my suspension. It wasn't, the levers weren't set up like I wanted to. I physically could not shift it because of the way he had the shifter. And I think little stuff like that, it definitely makes a difference. And I've kind of had this feeling with Dungey that he has regretted leaving Suzuki ever since he did. And I think he's used the bike as an excuse up until now, and I I think he's about to get an answer to whether or not he can blame the bike anymore. I think Ken Roczen is a big deal, and I think he's gonna put Dungey in his place.
Yeah, I just think I don't know. This is me couch racing, but
Well, I am too. Am I a pro? Hell no.
but like I would just like to. Maybe it's just because he doesn't show it, and I'm not saying he's not trying, but like, just seems like he needs. There's just like no fire. Uh-oh.
Well, I think
Hang on a second, James.
Roger DeCoster said it.
What's up, babe?
All right.
All right, you gotta hang tight a second, buddy. I gotta turn on the heater, or I'm gonna get in trouble.
Uh-oh.
All right, sorry about that. All right, so what were we talking about? Dungey. Yeah, I just wish. I don't know. I would just like to maybe see the guy get mad, I guess. So.
Yeah, I don't know if it's ever going to happen, though. I think what I was going to say before there is I think Roger DeCoster said it best here. I don't remember if it was last year, when exactly it was, but he said, it's in Ryan's head. It's not
Right.
the bike. It's not, he's blaming it on the bike. It's not the bike. It's in his head. And to me, I have to agree with them. He looks, I don't want to say he looks timid, but number one, he's way too patient. He always waits too long to make a move. And he is always the first person, if he's got a guy behind him that is borderline going to pass him or not, he's the first person to pull over and let him go by. And it drives me nuts to watch him do that.
I think that's what they were saying too on Saturday. Was like, yeah, he'll catch a guy and then he just kind of follows them for too long.
Yeah.
But shit. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Like you say, we're both couch racing. Obviously, things are probably different when you're in that world, but
I mean,
it's kind of the same old thing. They're there, they're getting paid ungodly amounts of money to do a job, and number one, how much longer does KTM keep Ryan Dungey around if he doesn't start producing? Are they going to be happy with him getting second, third place all the time? To me, in Supercross, that's not producing. Not when you're paid what he's paid.
Yeah, I don't know. Because, right, that's a tough one.
Stumped you again.
Yep. But, I don't know. Yeah. I would think. I have no idea. We'll see, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess the consistency would be there, and it's like, well, do you want a guy that is gonna always be there, or do you kind of want the checker wrecker guy, But
then you're right. That's all about what they want. Right now, they have both. I mean, they got the guy that won this week, and they got the guy that came in second. So, obviously they're on cloud nine. Me being, never being a fan of KTM, and obviously I'd much rather see Red going 1, 2, 3 every weekend. I hate it, but whatever.
Well, there's a lot of. Well, there's so KTM for Roxon, Dungey, and then like now the Rockstar team, they're all KTM, BTO, KT. There's a lot of KTM stuff out there this year.
Yep, there is.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think they are pretty trick looking, but yeah, I mean, I've had a Honda, I've had a Yamaha. I don't know. I think you're right. I mean, I don't care either way, but I think if I could go buy another bike today or tomorrow, it'd probably be another Honda. But
yeah. Well, for me, it's just what I've always had. I've had a Yamaha. Didn't hate my Yamaha. Just like the Honda better. Bought an RM. I had it for 2 weeks, and I would rather burn that thing to the ground rather than ride it again. But it's what it is. When I upgraded this last time, I actually looked into going Yamaha again, but luckily the Honda, popped up out of nowhere when I sold my bike and needed another bike in 2 days, or I wasn't going to race. So.
No. Oh hell! What else we got to talk about? What else happened that we're missing? What did you?
I didn't realize I would have taken notes.
So right now we know for next time. Get our shit
exactly.
together. Okay, what did you think of how the lights main ended up with Seeley and Anderson?
I guess I don't know. I always find it hard to talk about the lights class because I don't pay as much attention to it, and I don't know why.
That's all right. But you know what happened, though, or did you not pay any attention to that?
I watched it. I paid attention, but honestly, I don't remember what the hell happened.
So I think Anderson pulls the whole shot, and then he's kind of running away. Not running away, but him and Seeley are checking out. And then Seeley catches him and passes him.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember how many of the laps at the end that Seeley was winning. And on the last lap, there's like 2-3 sets of lappers.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Now it's coming back to me.
So then, like the last, was it the last three corners or whatever it is? It's where they zip back and forth across the start.
Mm-hmm.
So Seeley's coming up behind these lappers, so he kind of goes wide, I think, and then Anderson just dives it in on that big open corner, and then kind of.
Oh God, that was a suicide move if I'd ever seen one. I mean, not that he was trying to take him out. I don't think that's what he was trying to do at all. It's just that was going into a corner saying, I'm going to come out of this in the lead, or I'm going to go down and get passed by 5 guys.
We're both going down. Yeah, I didn't think it was too bad, and I'm sure we're going to see it a lot later. I'm all right with block passing. I'm not a fan of when the guy goes, like say it was a little bit of a tighter corner, mm-hmm. and the guy goes around the outside, and you completely cut the corner and tee him up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, or I wouldn't mind say, hey, that's fucking dirty riding, and we're gonna dock you. I'd be totally cool with that. Like say halfway through or 3/4 of the way through that corner, your guys' bikes needs to be going the same direction. And if they're not, then one of you we're going to fucking fine you or dock you or whatever. Because I think, to me, that's a safety. Is to start blowing people's legs off.
To me, what happened there with Anderson and Seeley, that's racing. And that was awesome racing. I mean, now that I remember it, I jumped up, from probably being half asleep on the couch and, screaming at the TV because that was that I didn't expect it, and honestly, it was an awesome move. And like Seeley said, I would have done the same thing.
Right.
So a corner like that, to me, that was awesome. Now, earlier in the night, when Alessi ran Villapoto off the track,
Mm.
going 3 miles an hour coming out of a corner, where he was obviously being Mike Alessi, the little punk that he is, just trying to do anything to keep him from going around him.
Yep.
That I had a problem with, and I'm actually surprised that nothing ever, nobody ever talked about that. It never came up again, at least not that I've seen.
Nope. And see, like now I'm watching the lights right now, and obviously the year just started, but like I don't know if that was last year or the year before. It used to drive me nuts. Like it was like the pro circuit guys could do whatever the fuck they wanted,
Mm-hmm.
and no one else. I don't know if it was a respect deal or what, but no one would ever run it in on any of the pro circuit guys. And that drives me nuts. And it's like some of the shit they used to do. It's like, man, not cool.
I've always questioned that, with not necessarily with Pro Circuit, but kind of because they are still a sponsor, but with Monster Energy being the overall sponsor for the series and also sponsoring teams, to me that's a conflict of interest, and I have wondered that in the past. Are they getting away with something because the team sponsor is the title sponsor for the series? You hope that nothing like that is going on, but sometimes you wonder.
Right. Yep. Since we're kind of talking lights, what did you think about Wilson? What did he get? He got fourth, didn't he? Yeah, he got fourth.
Is that where he ended up, was fourth?
Yep.
I was pretty disappointed in him, actually. I kind of figured he'd come out on fire and, we'd see him win a heat race and go on and win a main, and then that would be the night. He definitely didn't look like the Dino of the past, that's for sure.
See, I got the kind of feeling like, and I could be wrong, but I got the feeling that, like I got this in the bag,
Mm-hmm.
and
Like maybe he came in overconfident.
Something, because yeah, I don't think he really rode that well.
Yeah.
And I think he got passed pretty early in that main too, and he kind of got shuffled back. But that's my 2 cents.
No, I agree with you. I don't think he looked near as good as I expected him to, and I think, like I agree. He kind of seemed to have that attitude going into it that he had it, nobody was going to beat him. I just watched Weimer go down again for the second time. But yeah, I was pretty disappointed with him, with the attitude and the whole thing.
Well, I think this kind of changes the subject a little bit, but like, what do you think about all the people that have gotten hurt so far?
I guess. What do you mean? I mean, that's racing. That's unfortunately that's part of it.
Right. Well, like Millsap's out, Muscan's out, Kennard's out.
The two I'm disappointed about are especially Millsaps. I've always really liked Millsaps.
Yeah.
And definitely Trey Kennard too. I honestly, Trey Kennard, I think, might as well wrap it up and retire, because I don't think we're ever going to see a full season out of him again. Just because he always comes back and he's hurt 2 races later. He's kind of the Brock Hepler of today, in a way.
Well, he did. Did he put a full year together last year?
I don't remember for sure. It doesn't seem like he did, though.
I think last year, I think he was good.
Maybe
because he came. I think he came back from his back, and I think he did outdoors. But yeah, I think they were talking. What was that on Racer X about? What, he broke his femur and then he broke it again, and yeah.
I think the thing that caught me the most was going through the injury report on Racer X Saturday morning and seeing, I don't remember who all these guys were, obviously, but seeing the injuries, I mean, we're talking about some life-threatening crap here. Guys with collapsed lungs and all this broken faces, cheekbones, crap that you
Hmm.
never actually hear about from before. Where's all this coming from all of a sudden?
Yeah, yeah. It's like I think especially last year, it was like, yeah, no one's breaking their arm or their
Yeah,
foot. It's broken necks, broken backs.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's a tough deal.
And is it a correlation with, not to beat a dead horse, but is it a correlation with the tracks being what they are now and being so technical and not forgiving whatsoever?
Right? Like, did you see? I think they were almost making fun of him a little bit. Um, I can't remember where it was in the race, but someone tried to like block past someone and right in front of the triple. So the guy had like no run at all, and then
Mm-hmm.
he just seat bounced the triple and made it.
Yep.
And then I don't know, that must have been one of the heat races, but I don't know what happened prior, but like Blows came up like 6 feet short
Yep.
and landed on the side of the track. That's like, oh man. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what all the wild injuries are about. Of course, you're throwing yourself 30 feet in the air. And
Well, I mean, obviously it's part of it, and anything can happen and is guaranteed to happen. But um, to me, like I say, just seeing the tracks the way there's no room for error in these rhythm sections. You get off rhythm at all, and the best thing you're gonna do is rodeo clown it out of there. You know,
yep. No, you are correct. Ugh. Um, let's see. What is this? Nothing. Oh, what else? We got all the crashing out of the way. Got the block passing. We're doing pretty good for the first go around. I wonder. Let me see if I can find us on here. I know I don't have Jeff's number, but you want to maybe give him a shout sometime this week?
yeah, I'll be talking to him for sure. I'm hoping that we end up in Texas together by the end of the week. So,
Are you guys going? Is that Three Palms? Is that Texas? That's Texas,
actually,
isn't
we
it?
weren't. Yeah, it is. We weren't gonna go there. I don't think we were talking about Village Creek. Um, I think it was River's Edge and I-35. I-35, I just found out, is actually going to be closed while we're there, which sucks. Um, but I think we're going to go to Sooner, hopefully, to Robbie Rayner's place there. I always liked that track. Really like it now that he runs it.
Sooner, 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 sooner.
That's actually in Oklahoma, straight south of Stillwater.
So yeah, see, I think, man, when I rode there, it wasn't really much of anything. So he's turned that around, huh?
Yeah, he
No,
has.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking we rode Sooner. We rode. Oh, last time I was down there, we rode Cooperland. What is it? The 500.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Sooner, and then I think the one I'm thinking of is like Anadarko or Anadarko.
Yep, Anandarko. Yep.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking. That was really nothing there, but Sooner I think
Anan
was pretty good.
Sooner has always been fun, but since Robbie took it over, it's prepped a hell of a lot better. I mean, last
Okay.
time we were down there, the place was just awesome. I didn't actually get to ride last time we were down there, but instead I sat with Robbie on the side by side and drank beer with him. But um, the first time we got down there, and it was probably right around the last time you were there because we rode Cooperland because back then Cooperland was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And we roll in there after driving all night from Farmington. We roll into Sooner at like 8 o'clock in the morning. And, there's nobody around, and we're just kind of looking around or whatever, and we see there was an old building right at the end of the driveway that had kind of a screen porch on it, and we're just kind of walking around or whatever, and we're walking by this building, and I look through the screen, and here's a guy passed out on the porch. So I just kind of, rap on the door there or whatever, and he kind of wakes up, like, "Hey, man, we're here to ride. Just wondering what time you open." He's like, "The hell time is it?" I said, "Well, it's, just after 8, but we just drove straight through from Minnesota. We're here to ride. If I go to sleep, I'm going to be asleep for 8 hours. I can't go to sleep." The guy's like, "Do whatever the hell you want. Just don't wake me up again." So I think it was about 1:30 he finally came out, took money from us.
Oh, man.
But, I mean, I love going riding down there. It sucks that Cooperland isn't taken care of anymore, because those first couple years we went to Oklahoma, those were definitely the best in my mind.
Yeah, see, like, when we went to, I think it was at the 500, it had, I don't know, there was kind of like a Supercrossy style track kind of in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like a ton of fun, but it was like, everything was all, like, all the faces had like rain ruts on them. And
Yep.
It's like, God, it's just too sketchy for me.
The first year, the first year we went down there, we were down there with the Graber family. And it was me and Chris Peach and Mike Graber. We were the only ones riding. But we went into Cooper's locksmith store, which is actually Guy Cooper's mom and dad.
Okay.
And went in there, and she told us about the 500. And, we went through all the paperwork and everything that you had to do to be able to go out there and whatever, get the code for the gate.
Mm-hmm.
And we got out there, and they must have prepped that Supercross track the day before. I mean, it was beyond awesome. We rode there for 2 days straight on that Supercross track and never left. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And then, like, the next year, I'm all talking it up, and I got Jeff and Caleb and Caleb's brother with me, and it's like, "Hey, we got to go to the 500." And we go over there, and it's just dog shit.
Hey, yeah, I remember that one year. I don't know, I've had a couple funny stories. Remember my van I used to have, that little Astro?
Yep.
Like, I bought it from that body shop or auto place right in Farmington. And I bought it, and I think we changed the oil in it, and I had it maybe 2 weeks, if that. And me and Austin, we threw 2 bikes in it, and off we went. So that was pretty fun. But then it was like, you guys weren't down there. Who was all down there? Like, Barsness was down there. That's back when Joey Mueller rode.
Yeah.
Olins were down there. Shit, I think Martin was on like an 80, but yeah, that was pretty cool. And then I think went down a different year. That's back when kind of the Whoop Monster was still doing stuff.
Yeah.
So I picked up Dubs. I had my bike in the back, and we went and picked up the Whoop Monster. He's from my hometown, so we pick him up on the way down and drive down to Tulsa for the arena cross. So I don't know if Dubs, because wasn't Huffer still down in school down there or something. So, but yeah, it's like I went to Cooperland by myself, and it was like one of those times where it was warmer up here than it was down there,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I unloaded and the wind was just whipping, and I'm like, yeah, this is cool. I'm gonna go now. But it's been hit or miss, Sometimes, well, that first year we went down there, I think all those guys they left like 3-4 days before we did, but they didn't get any more riding in because it rained the whole time.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the last time we went to Texas 2 years ago, and we went the week before Dallas Supercross, and then we went to the Dallas Supercross, and we were going to drive home Sunday afterwards. Well, it was like 33, 32 degrees and snowing in Dallas when we left on Saturday night, and I said, the hell with it, I'm wired, let's just drive home, because Kellogg was actually opening the next day, and the forecast for Kellogg was 62 degrees and sunny.
Oh, wow.
So, of course, it's, there's 3 or 4 inches of slushy snow on the ground in Dallas. Traffic is going nowhere, so we're just sitting there, and, finally got out of town or whatever, made the drive home, and we got back to Northfield. I want to say it was about 10:30, and I pulled up in front of Jeff's house, and everybody else was asleep. I just pulled up and said, "Get out, I'm going home," which sucked because it was, honestly, that Sunday was the nicest day we'd had all week long, and it was here, But that's a chance you take when you go, I don't think we have to worry about that if we go this week. I think we're probably going to do better than the weather here, I hope.
I know, it's fucking like 18, 19 below here.
Yeah.
What is it? No, minus 15. It's getting warmer.
Oh, boy.
I'm a
little bit disappointed because I did want to do that race at the Sandbox this weekend, Cedar Lake Arena this weekend.
It's been bought out, right?
Yeah, the owners of the Speedway bought it last year. So
how was that? Or is it better or same?
It's, it depends on how you see it. As far as track conditions go, it's the same, still pretty rocky, which to me is the only major downfall of the place.
Mm-hmm.
But, the new guys have kept the pricing very reasonable compared to what it was before. They do a very nice job of taking care of the track. It's kind of funny, last time we were there on, I believe we were there on a Saturday, and one of the tracks came off the dozer while they were doing track maintenance in the middle of the day. I actually know it was race day that happened. They actually were out on the track in between first and second moto doing track maintenance, and the track came off the dozer. They were going to leave it on the track and reroute the track around it, and then they decided that wasn't a good idea because we decided we could get it off the track.
So they just drag it off, or did they?
No, we got the track back on it and got it out of the way. But no, actually, I once said that I'd never go back to that place, but I've been pretty happy with it this year. Still, a little chilly in there, but it's pretty hard to have a indoor facility where you're pumping air out because of the exhaust and then pumping air in to replace that air to keep it warm is a tough deal.
So. I guess I'd be all right with it being a little chilly as long as it was getting circulated enough,
That's just it, That's the hardest part, is if you go in there and, if your session or your race is after 65s or 85s, it can be a little taxing to breathe in there.
Yeah, that's not.
If you're riding hard. So I agree with you. As far as out on the track, I don't care if it's 45 degrees. That's fine with me. They did the smart thing and they moved the pit area back to the to the separate room, to the inside room, rather than where the grandstands are. And to me, that makes all the difference in the world, because now your bike's in where it's warm and you're in where it's warm.
Right. Did you ever go up to the Moto Dome?
Oh, yeah.
Do they still have that or no?
Oh, yeah. They still have practice up there. I think they're doing it every weekend right now, and maybe Wednesdays. I don't remember for sure.
Yeah, I almost died up there. That was crazy.
It was the first place I ever raced, if you could call it that.
Ugh. Well, yeah, we went up, I think, on a Saturday, did Saturday practice, and then we got a hotel, and it's just like, I think I threw up. I think the other guy I went with got got sick. The other person got a headache. It's just like, yeah, this is pretty awesome. And then, like, I think I went out for, I did practice, and then I think first race of the day, we go through the whoops, and it loops around, and there's some, like, little rhythm, 2 tabletops or something. Me and this other dude collided, and I don't think I broke my finger, but it sure hurt, and that was the end of that trip. But
yeah, first time I went up there with a 98 CR125, and thought I was Mr. Factory Rider, and spent most of the weekend trying to find spark plugs for that bike because I went through 3 of them, I think.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, the stupid things I've done.
All right, buddy. What, let's see. Uh-oh. Where are we here? Google Chrome. So yeah, I don't know. I think it went pretty decent for the first go, huh?
Yeah, I think it was all right.
Got some rambling. So
it makes the world go around. I didn't expect it to be 9:30 before we kind of decided to wrap up. So
yeah. So I don't know. I think if maybe I have to see how like it works out with you, and if Jeff wants to go or Caleb or whoever you want to go. I think if we can get 4 guys that want to do it, I think it'd be awesome.
Well, yeah, I think Jeff would be awesome to get involved. The thing is, the guy is so damn busy that I don't know. I'll definitely try to talk him into it. Just tell him to join us, sometime, and maybe he'll get hooked on it. To me, I think it's fun as hell. I love doing stuff like this. So.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I think if we could, all right, if let's just say it's Monday, try to pick a day and a time, and then maybe try to stick with it. I mean, granted, it may not start, say 7 o'clock every night, but at least try to, so that way everyone can kind of plan on it, and and we can go from there.
Definitely agree with that.
So cool. All right, buddy. Well, I'll let you go, and I appreciate it. It was kind of a last-minute deal this morning, so I'm glad it worked out.
Well, works for me, man.
Cool. All right. Well, you have a good one, and if I don't talk to you before then, watch the races, and we'll talk next week.
All right. Sounds good, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Jason. I'll talk to you later.
Yep. See ya.